You are allowed to erase anything from existence, and you will be the only one that remembers it. What do you get rid of?
Mosquitoes. Wikipedia says nearly 700 million people get a mosquito-borne illness each year, resulting in over 1 million deaths. Damn. Yup. They are the deadliest animal by far. We need to up our game. Jazz music stops. Mosquitoes are annoying, but I think I hate ticks even more. Both mosquitoes and ticks are rampant in my area during the summertime, and finding 8+ ticks on me after a short walk to my camping site is really maddening. I can never truly be sure I've gotten them all off. I just pulled one off my dog 2 minutes ago. They're brutal. My wife and I bought those plastic tick removers because it sucks getting them of our dogs, and they have changed our life. I use tweezers. I've done my own eyebrows for years, so I'm pretty good at getting them at the base. They're just really hard to find because she has black hair. World War I, but not World War II. Imagine the confusion. World War II would be the Great War, and different reasons would be there for starting it. World War II might not even happen, considering that Germany wanted to conquer the world because they lost and were completely bankrupt. They'd still be bankrupt, but wouldn't know why. Duck. Adolf got drunk and went on Amazon again. Alexa, put Europe on my wish list. That time I said you too after the waiter told me to enjoy my nachos. Alternatively, you still say it, but the waiter takes it as an invitation and the two of you enjoy nachos together. The awkwardness is still erased. Yes, I can see it now. We hit it off immediately and are laughing and chatting over the nachos. Conversation turns to us staring lovingly into each other's eyes. Then my date interrupts to ask for a refill. Okay, I definitely got a good laugh from that. Multi-wipe shits. One wipers from here on out. As someone who literally just dealt with this, I'm now voting you for president. As someone who is literally dealing with this at this exact moment, I'm now voting you for president. You're commenting while wiping? I'm voting you off the planet. I watch YouTube videos while wiping. Bedbugs. When I gave this reply, I had no idea it would trigger such visceral reactions from so many people. Some of your experiences are the stuff of absolute nightmares. Hopefully, those of you who suffer from bedbug-induced PTSD, allergies or hypersensitive skin, etc. gained something from hearing you're not alone. It's been an eye-opener for me. I've only imagined these experiences. Request to the biochemists out there, please work on an answer. Maybe a safe, anti-bedbug equivalent to the tick medicine given to dogs. Turns out that's the only thing I'm allergic to. I mean, aspirin hurts my stomach, but I can take it if need be. I still haven't recovered from the permanent skin changes from getting noshed on like a shrimp toast _t. Had no idea that bedbugs triggered allergies. That's just like double whammy nasty. Corrupt politicians. It'd be interesting to see who doesn't disappear. It'll be like the end of Infinity War. Or look at you thinking only half of politicians are corrupt. There are a lot of politicians out there. I bet there are enough straight arrow politicians in local and regional governments to offset the more prominent corruption at national levels. Child abuse. I would not want to be the only person who remembers child abuse. No therapist would know how to help me. It would be awful. I'd take one for the team. Better me remembering than anyone else knowing. I'm not that strong. I have bad PTSD. Hope things work out for you. My fingers are crossed. Hey guys, I have this great idea. What? That's such a strange concept that no one's ever heard of. It'll never take off. TV and radio are just a fad. Nobody will ever need more than 640k RAM. Planes will never serve any practical purpose. All they can do is perform tricks. Grog think fire invention useless. Kill animal eat raw, no need to cook. Spoons with lids. Huh, he's already done it. Oh, this is good stuff happening here. Goddamn coronavirus. Coronaviruses be looking at each other like, do you want to erase all of us or just COVID-19? Other coronaviruses be like, mate, I didn't do anything. Well, there's also SARS and MERS. The common cold is a coronavirus as well from what I hear. Rhinaviridae are the most common form of colds, not coronaviridae. Wow, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. Upvotes. Pedophiles. Let's say that, rather than vanishing people, what goes away is any attraction between an adult and a person, say, 17 or younger. Like adults just aren't attracted to you until you hit a certain age. And that includes visual depictions of youths as well. Maybe before then only other young people are attracted, so people still date in high school. Can you imagine how the media landscape would change in, say, 3 years? We would stop seeing the hyper-sexualization of young actors. People would find even the suggestion distasteful and repellent as opposed to scandalous and intriguing. Musicians would stop preying on teenage groupies. Film and music producers would stop taking advantage of vulnerable young talent. Even having adults portraying hot 16-year-olds wouldn't be a thing anymore. We see no one would find it appealing. The CWTV network would go into a tailspin. BC, if superpowered teenagers aren't hot anymore, what is their network even for? MTV and Freeform too. People would be able to somewhat trust churches again. I say somewhat. BC adult nuns get abused too. I hate to say this, but not all child abusers have pedophilia. Neurotypicals do it, because it's breaking a huge taboo, and is therefore a massive power trip. Your world would be an awful lot better though. Health problems across the board. No one can get sick. Ever. We grow old naturally. No diabetes. No obesity. No heart issues. No cancer. Etc. But whatever will all the nurses and doctors do? /s. Edit. Do people not know what /s means? There are a lot of people acting like I'm serious. Accidents will still happen. That sounded really ominous and creepy. Accidents will continue until morale improves. Heroin. Being a brand new EMT and knowing about 3 overdoses in 3 consecutive days is a lot. 2 of which I was on scene for, 1 of which the part didn't make it. Never mind. All the people I know who used. Just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. I can't imagine the mental or physical toll your job takes on you, but I respect and appreciate all the hard work you and your comrades do on a daily basis. Best wishes. Since covered is taken, sadism is human impulse, the desire to inflict pain. It actually guides a lot of human behavior and history. Look at the history of torture. Everything from sibling abuse to institutional torture. Or maybe pain. People would have to figure out how not to touch flame and shit some other way. Edit. People seem really hooked on pain for self-protection, but we are talking about fiction. I guess alternately pain would only exist as a warning for self-preservation. Any and all viruses from existence. I know this is a little on the nose due to the current conditions, but think of how well we would be doing without them. Our biggest issues, health-wise, would be bacterial and cancer, both of which can be beaten. Some viruses are actually quite beneficial. For example, bacteriophages are viruses that replicate inside of and destroy specific types of bacteria. They can even be used to fight bacteria that is resistant to antibiotics and don't have many of the side effects that normal antibiotics have either. I don't know about that. Thank you. The time I told a boy at my middle school to kill himself over the phone. Never have I regretted something more in my life. I sure got my karma, i.e. extreme chronic depression from when I was 14 onward, repeated suicide attempts, and now a shit ton of self-hatred that I've had to work out over the years, but I wish more than anything I had never said that to that poor kid. Still to this day I don't know why I said it. Pressure to be cool, I guess. But I have hated myself for the past 10 years because of those words I said, and I wish I could take them back every single day. Religion. Definitely religion. That's gonna leave a lot of blank spaces in history. My understanding of the question is that I would erase this from history. In other words, it never began in the first place. Think how far science would have advanced if not for religion. You do know that religious institutions were the chief providers for education for centuries, right? Actually, I went to Catholic school from kindergarten through 12th grade. I'm completely aware of this. However, religious institutions only were the chief providers for education simply because they controlled the populace through fear damnation. Think of today. Now governments provide the vast majority of education and science grants. If religion hadn't existed in the first place, governments would have filled that vacuum. Real talk. Most people don't know that if it wasn't for the Catholic Church, act like the Renaissance would not have happened, or at least would have been shorter than it really was at best case. Most of the greatest philosophical thinkers of all time did so trying to prove their religion correct. Descartes, who is the literal creator of the foundations of modern philosophy and some of the most important mathematical concepts to ever exist, did so in an attempt to prove that God exists. To even further this, most great thinkers of the ancient empires used religion as a basis for all philosophy. When it came down to it, the hardest question for philosophers to answer was, what lies beyond? Everyone loves to point out the Galileo incident, but at the time, most all evidence pointed to Galileo being wrong. And instead of waiting for everyone to do the experiments themselves, Galileo wrote a half-assed paper and then later used it as reasoning for defying the church, his governing body at the time. He was promptly thrown in jail, not because he was literally talking about treasonous things about his governing body. Yellow jackets. Those little duckers are meaner than wasps, and they'll sting you just for the fun of it, and they'll keep stinging you until your dad realizes what's happening and dumps a 5-gallon bucket of water on your head to make them go away, but then they just get angry and you cry because you're scared, and now you're soaking wet and all you wanted to do was try to catch the toad you saw hopping away into the woods behind your house. But now you have to go inside and let your mom make sure you're not having an allergic reaction, but then you start having one and end up going to the hospital. I just wanted to let the damn frog. I would get rid of the possibility that genies don't exist and don't belong to me, thus creating genies that belong to me. I would then do whatever the hell I want. Edit. I changed the word rule to possibility because someone pointed out that just because I changed a rule, that doesn't mean the opposite will happen. Also, thus was spelled as this. Edit 2. Wow, does this make me the Lord of Genies? I basically have an infinite supply of genies. My next act as Genie Lord is to spend a whole genie to make it impossible to negatively affect me using genie wishes. This is too big brain for anyone to handle. Both thank you. Thank you. Subscribe and leave a like, please.